Alright, let's get right into it. WWE has a massive Seth Rollins problem, and it's been brewing for a long time, but Crown Jewel made it impossible to ignore anymore. Watching that match, you could feel the exhaustion, not just in Rollins' body, but in the storytelling that surrounded him. The company has drained every ounce of creativity, passion, and meaning from one of its best performers, and now he's running on fumes while pretending everything is fine. He's been carrying this place for years, being the dependable guy, the one they call when no one else can deliver. But the sad truth is, WWE doesn't know what to do with him anymore. It's not that Rollins has lost his edge, it's that the company has stripped him of his purpose. At Crown Jewel, the performance wasn't the problem. The man can still wrestle circles around most of the roster even when he's half broken. His moves are sharp, his timing is flawless, and he sells pain better than almost anyone. But the energy around him is dead because the creative side has completely failed him. He's stuck playing this exaggerated version of himself that has no direction, no fire, and no meaningful stakes. He walks out with that flamboyant gear, doing the Joker laugh, trying to make it feel important, but you can sense he's doing all the heavy lifting on his own. WWE isn't giving him a story to sink his teeth into. They're giving him filler and expecting him to make it art. And while he's done that before, there's only so many times you can recycle the same energy before it turns stale. The company built Rollins up as the Workhorse champion, but that label turned into an insult. They use it to justify overworking him without ever giving him the creative respect he deserves. It's basically WWE's way of saying, you're reliable, but not the guy we're going to center our world around. Every time he gets close to reaching that next level, the booking yanks him back down. They have him carry the title through injury, they make him wrestle night after night, and then they book him in matches that feel like afterthoughts. The storylines lack weight, the opponents lack build, and the matches, no matter how good he performs, end up meaning nothing the next week. Crown Jewel showed just how broken this system is. Rollins went into that match looking like a man who wanted to give everything, but the company didn't give him a reason to care. The crowd reacted to his effort, not the story. That's the sign of a superstar being failed by his creative environment. He's giving more than the script deserves, and the fans can feel that disconnect. The result is a match that looks technically solid, but emotionally hollow. WWE loves to hide behind production and hype, but no amount of smoke or pyro can cover up the fact that Rollins has been trapped in meaningless cycles for far too long. The problem runs deeper than just one bad event. Rollins has been the backbone of WWE through countless eras. When others got injured, left, or refused to carry the load, he stayed. He adapted, evolved, and found new ways to stay over with fans who were desperate for something authentic. He turned heel, turned face, became a revolutionary, a messiah, a visionary, all of it. And yet WWE never truly pulled the trigger on giving him that defining long-term story that cements him as the guy. He's always the supporting act to someone else's narrative, whether it's Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, or whoever they're trying to make the next big name. Rollins is always the one putting them over instead of being treated like the main attraction he is. That's where the real anger comes from. WWE has conditioned fans to see Rollins as reliable background noise instead of a generational performer. He's the insurance policy, the guy they turn to when they've run out of ideas, but they never reward that loyalty. Instead of giving him a fresh rivalry that actually challenges him, they keep throwing him into matches that are all style and no substance. You can only be the workhorse for so long before it becomes a prison. It's not a compliment anymore. It's a trap. He's too good for the mid-card, but WWE refuses to give him top billing because they're obsessed with protecting their chosen few. At Crown Jewel, it felt like Rollins was going through the motions because the creative around him gave him no reason to fight for something bigger. His body language screamed frustration. The match layout felt predictable. You could almost time when the near falls would happen, when the crowd would chant "burn it down," and when he'd try to rally energy that wasn't really there. It's like he's performing in a loop, doing the same song and dance while WWE cashes in on his reliability without ever letting him evolve beyond it. He deserves the kind of long-term storytelling that Roman Reigns got. He deserves stakes that mean something. Instead, he gets matches that are forgotten a week later. WWE's biggest mistake with Rollins is assuming consistency equals satisfaction. Just because he can make anything work doesn't mean he should have to. They've turned him into the company's creative crutch. When a feud needs life, they feed it to Rollins. When a title needs credibility, they strap it on him. But when it's time to reward him with a meaningful payoff, they pass him over. He's given his body, his voice, and his soul to this company, and the creative team can't even give him a coherent direction. He's not an accessory, he's a cornerstone. But WWE doesn't treat him that way. There's also this issue with overexposure. Rollins is constantly on TV, constantly working, and constantly carrying segments that don't move his story forward. Fans love him, but they're getting tired of watching him spin his wheels. WWE's insistence on overusing him without fresh storytelling is making him feel stale. It's not his fault, it's the writing. When someone that talented starts to feel repetitive, that's a company problem, not a performer problem. The same thing happened to Cena in his mid-years, and now it's happening to Rollins. Only worse because Rollins doesn't even get the same level of respect from management. Crown Jewel should have been a turning point, but instead it exposed WWE's creative laziness. The match was technically strong, but emotionally lifeless. Rollins' body told the story of a man fighting through pain, but the booking told the story of a company that's out of ideas. It's sad when a wrestler's performance outshines the writing so badly that it feels disconnected. WWE has turned Rollins into a machine, consistent, efficient, and predictable. But that's not what fans fell in love with. They fell in love with the unpredictable, fiery, desperate Seth who would do anything to win or prove his worth. That's gone now because the system has numbed him down. The commentary during the show made it even worse. They tried so hard to sell his resilience and his toughness, but all it did was remind everyone that he's been carrying an injury storyline for months with no real payoff. WWE keeps leaning on that as a shortcut to create sympathy instead of giving him a story that challenges him on a deeper level. The whole bad back angle has gone nowhere. It's just another example of lazy continuity. Every time he steps into the ring, they remind us he's hurt, but then he goes out and wrestles like it barely affects him. That inconsistency kills the believability and makes it impossible to stay invested. The sad reality is that WWE doesn't know how to book stars who aren't part of their corporate favorites. Rollins earned his position through hard work and loyalty, but because he doesn't fit the PR-friendly image they want, they keep him boxed in. They give him matches that don't elevate him. They script promos that sound like they're written by people who don't understand what makes him click with the audience. He's doing all the heavy lifting creatively, and it shows. The man deserves to be the centerpiece of the show, not an afterthought stuck in limbo between mid-card and main event. Fans are noticing too. The reaction at Crown Jewel was polite, but not passionate. That's not on Rollins, that's on WWE for conditioning the audience to expect nothing new from him. When someone as dynamic as Seth stops getting loud reactions, it's because the audience has been trained to know that nothing he does will actually matter in the long run. WWE has burned out the fan base by giving Rollins incredible matches with zero long-term consequences. It's like watching your favorite musician forced to play the same set list every night for years. Eventually, the excitement fades no matter how good the performance is. And what makes this worse is the disrespect in how WWE frames him. They still promote him as a main event star, but when it's time to build the actual main events, he's always in the background. They keep him close enough to the spotlight to keep fans engaged, but never close enough to let him own it. It's a manipulative tactic that hurts both the performer and the product. Rollins should be leading the charge creatively, mentoring younger talent in big arcs, and headlining pay-per-views that feel earned. Instead, he's being used as filler to keep the wheels turning. There's also the emotional toll of being overlooked constantly. You can see it in the way he interacts with fans, and in the subtle details of his promos. He's playing the role of someone who's trying to stay enthusiastic about a system that no longer values authenticity. When someone that gifted has to pretend to be motivated by stories that don't make sense, it eats away at the connection he's built with the audience. WWE has stripped away the vulnerability that once made him compelling and replaced it with manufactured charisma that feels forced. Rollins deserves better than being the company's escape plan when things go wrong. He's not the break glass in case of emergency guy. He's the standard, yet WWE refuses to treat him like it. They'll protect part-timers, legends, and untested stars more than they protect the man who's been keeping the product afloat. That's the core of the Seth Rollins problem. He's too valuable to ignore, but too underappreciated to be elevated properly. It's a frustrating paradox that makes every one of his matches feel like wasted potential. Crown Jewel was supposed to be another showcase of his greatness, but it ended up being another reminder of WWE's incompetence. The performance was solid, the effort was undeniable, but it all meant nothing. It didn't change his trajectory, it didn't build momentum, and it didn't open new doors. It was just another night of Rollins being Rollins, giving 110% while the company gives him 50% back. Fans know it, he knows it, and the silence between the cheers is starting to show that everyone's patience is running out. WWE's biggest flaw is that they don't realize they're slowly killing one of their most dependable stars by overusing him without evolving him. Rollins could be the centerpiece of a new era, someone who bridges generations and leads the company forward, but instead they're treating him like a disposable utility player. Crown Jewel wasn't just a mediocre outing for Rollins, it was symbolic of how far WWE has fallen in its ability to nurture its best talent. They don't need another Roman Reigns clone, they need to rediscover what made Seth Rollins the most electric performer in the world: passion, unpredictability, and hunger. And right now, they're suffocating all three. Until WWE stops using Rollins as a safety net and starts treating him as a cornerstone, nothing will change. The creative team has turned one of wrestling's most complete talents into a workhorse with no destination. Crown Jewel was the breaking point, the moment fans could see the burnout in real time. WWE has a Seth Rollins problem because they've forgotten that consistency without purpose is just exhaustion disguised as reliability. And sooner or later, even the most loyal performer reaches his limit.